What's going on, Dolphins fans? It is your boy Dillon, and I am with you again with some updates for you. Got a couple things to let you know about since my last video. This will be a real quick one. So it looks like, just real quick, I wanted to let you guys know that there were a number of people, a number of players that were not at practice today, and those included those not practicing today: Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's sick; Dwayne Allen, Kenny Stills, Michael Dieter, Daniel Kilgore, Andrew Van Ginkel, Raekwon McMillan, Quentin Poling. Kenny Stills apparently had a sleeve on his leg, so he's, I guess, got some minor injury all of a sudden. I don't know. It's kind of a strange thing. I don't know, man. Like, I'm keeping my eyes on that situation super close, because I smell some fishy shit going on. I feel like there's some shady behind the scenes kind of shit going on. Anyway, so there's that. Just wanted to update you guys on really the people that are you know, not in. So also too, the other little bit of information is I had reported recently on the fact that the Dolphins were apparently in, you know, potential trade talks for Jadeveon Clowney, and originally, you know, they were talking about apparently, you know, giving up draft capital for him, and the word on the street is that they were not willing to give up draft capital for him, you know, because they wanted to save it for a quarterback next year. Now, I agreed with not giving up draft capital for him. I don't think it's the right move. We do not need some, like, you know, high-priced free agent. It doesn't take one player to fix a team, you know, especially with all the holes that we have and the holes that they're just creating out of nowhere for no reason. So, you know, I mean, just bringing in, you know, a former first round pick. I mean, he's got some pretty significant injury history. You know, he's had some decent production, but you know, when he has been on the field, but I mean, you know, the Texans at this point, I guess, are willing to move on from him for some reason. And you know, like I said, he does have a bit of an injury history that is a little bit of a concern. You know, but they've been talking about it for a while. And you know, look, so real quick, let's see. As the Jadeveon Clowney trade rumors continue, the three-time Pro Bowler reportedly is 2 NFC playoff contenders. Anyway, Wilson added the Miami Dolphins are very interested, and apparently he met with Brian Flores and other people in the organization, like actually met like face to face. So they did have like an in-person interview. The Dolphins meeting with Jadeveon Clowney, which they did, is fascinating. Brian Flores is a very smart, impressive coach. Yeah, okay, well, I don't know about that. He's fucking, I mean, look, he still has an opportunity to prove me wrong. And like I said, as of right now, as it stands right now, he hasn't done anything with Kenny Stills, like, you know, punitive. As far as I know, he hasn't punished him. You know, hasn't traded him or cut him yet. So, you know, there's that. But, I mean, I guess, I mean, the Texans need help at offensive tackles, so there's been talk that maybe Laramie Tunsil could be in on that, but I guess the Dolphins are saying they're not. If they traded Laramie Tunsil for Jadeveon Clowney, that would just be one of the most stupid things they could do, because we're not, again, first of all, it's not one all-star player that's going to just make our defense or whatever. That would just be some stupid fucking... It would be a stupid move. It essentially would just be like him getting a shiny toy for his defense, and that's it. And honestly, again, not even all that shiny because he's spent a significant amount of time out, due to injuries. But anyway, and then not only that, but if you got rid of the only person on the offensive line that you can actually be confident in to be consistent, and your former first round pick, I mean, that's just a fucking joke and a disgrace if that was to happen. But apparently they're saying that's not going to happen. They're not going to trade Tunsil, so that's good. Hopefully that's the case. But I guess they need help there, and also they do need help at running back because Lamar Miller did tear his ACL. They do have Duke Johnson, though, I believe. But, they could use some. So I don't know. I mean, but look, personally, I do not agree with trading, any of our players for him. Again, because we don't need him. We don't need just one all-star to fix, the defense or get it where it needs to be, and I mean, he's just like, he could be like, oh, well, we need somebody now that, Chase Allen's not there and, because we let some other guys go. Yeah, but you didn't need to. Anyway, like, it's just, this is crazy. I mean, I'm like, and then it's funny because it would be hard for me, like, I know there's going to be plenty of people out there that would defend that too and be like, oh yeah, that was the right move. But it would be the same people who would, a year or two ago or whatever, a couple years ago, were bitching about how, the whole Ndamukong Suh contract and everything was fucked up, and which it was. We gave him too much money. It was too much money for that position. There was no way he was ever going to live up to that kind of, payday. But he was a businessman and he was a smart one, and he suckered, the Dolphins into doing it. And, but I'll admit, I jumped on that bandwagon there for a minute, and I was like, yeah, man, if we could just get Ndamukong Suh, I played into that. But after that mistake, I learned my lesson, man, and we don't need to be getting these fucking high-priced free agents thinking that the one shiny toy is going to fucking do it. And, if you were to use the argument that, well, now, we have some spots, because, these players are gone. Well, okay, but you didn't need to. You created that. So, if that's the case, then that to me would just seem like, okay, so he's cutting some of these other, I'm not saying this is the case, but okay, like Akeem Spence and Chase Allen, right? Like, okay, so if we were to go get Clowney, and if the argument, or, part of the argument was, well, now we have these roster spots open, yeah, but you did that. So that just sounds to me like you did that on purpose, just so you could go out and get this shiny toy. And for what? To compromise other areas of the team? To not build a solid, team? It's 11 dudes on the field all at once. I mean, just absolutely none of what they are doing is making any fucking sense. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, obviously, to be fair, we need to see how this particular thing develops. They haven't, there's a lot of conflicting reports. There's some that saying that they're very interested. There have been reports that saying that they're not. There are reports, that were saying that they're not interested in trading draft capital. I don't know. So they don't want to trade Tunsil. I don't know. So we'll have to see how this goes. When we'll give them credit or whatever, whatever credit where credit's due. So whatever it is that they do, we'll figure it out then. But I mean, personally, like I said, I would not trade for Clowney. I think it would be stupid. It's just one of those. It would also just be one of those, like, what's the way to say this? Like, attention grabber things, right? Like, it just, the shiny distraction, right? Like, from the fact that the rest of the team's going to be fucking trash, for the most part. I mean, the offensive line is just going to be fucking atrocious. I mean, we've got a ton of guys hurt on both sides of the ball. This motherfucker's just, randomly cutting fucking people for no reason. There's no reason. Like, why are you getting rid of these dudes? Like, it just doesn't make any, the timing doesn't make any sense. None of it makes any fucking sense. It's just ludicrous, but he's just fucking, willy-nilly just doing whatever the fuck. But, you know, okay. I mean, we'll see. You know, we're today's what, Tuesday? We have 2 days until our final preseason game. I mean, even a lot of the, you know, like, a lot of the media is not going to ask him, like, you know, super deep questions. Like, okay, like with TJ McDonald, okay, well, if, you know, if he fits your scheme and, you know, if he's got the skill set for it and, you know, you can't tell us how the team is better without him and all that stuff, you know, they're not going to ask him, well, so why did you get rid of him then? Right? Like, they're not going to push that. They're not going to keep going until they get, like, a legit answer. And frankly, he doesn't really have one, I bet. Like, you know, at least not one that he wants to make public, right? Because, I mean, otherwise, he would, right? Like, unless you don't have something to hide, you know, normally when people don't have things to hide, they're, you know, good to just say it, right? You know, out in front of everybody. So, if whatever his reason is, because the media is the one that was saying that he didn't give a good answer, right? I was just giving you the quotes and stuff from the media who, you know, asked these questions. But anyway, you know, like, it's this shit's off the wall. But no, so I was gonna say though, to continue or to finish one of my thoughts is, like, they're not gonna ask him, you know, they're not going to push and try and, like, you know, really get to the truth. You know, they might ask, like, one person might ask, like, a follow-up, but then if he still gives a softball answer, then they'll probably just, you know, usually, like they normally do, just, like, you know, then be like, all right, whatever, and pass on, right? Or keep going. But a lot of the media has been saying, you know, that a lot of this stuff is questionable and that, you know, like, it doesn't, like, I mean, fucking none of this shit makes any fucking sense. Like, you know, and there was other tweets, like, some, you know, I think it was, what's his name? Adam Kaplan. Yeah, Adam Kaplan. Not that the dog, oh, no, that's not that one. There was another one. Anyway, he tweeted something to the effect of, you know, the Dolphins are really working to get that number 1 pick or some shit like that, right? Because we just, like, it's mind, but anyway, that's what I got for you guys. Just some, you know, the updates on who was sitting out of practice. I mean, some pretty big names, you know, Kilgore isn't playing, or isn't practicing. I mean, I don't know if, like, these guys are injured, and that's the thing, is, like, it's so confusing to figure out what's going on with people, like, because people are just randomly not practicing. Like, all of a sudden, like, Kenny Stills is all of a sudden in, like, a sleeve on his leg, which is super strange, because then, you know, Brian Flores was just saying that, you know, Kenny Stills has been practicing great ever since I gave him that challenge. Bitch, please. That motherfucker is, you know, he's got a work ethic, you know, above and beyond almost anybody. The dude doesn't fucking need the motivation or the challenge from you. The dude's one of the most respected players on the fucking team. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. But all of a sudden, you know, after all of this shit, because I wouldn't be surprised if he got some blowback because of how he's handling a lot of this shit, and that's why he started, like, backtracking. And finally his third response after saying that first he should have talked with Ross before saying that shit public, and then saying that he needs to be a company man, essentially telling him to bow his head. Finally, he then said, oh, well, you know, I've lived this too, and I support what they're doing. Well, why didn't you just say that from the fucking beginning? Anyway, I wouldn't be surprised if he did get some fucking blowback from that shit, and that's why he kind of, you know, walked it back, and why he's been so vague and shit with his, you know, most recent answers and stuff like that, and why he's not fucking, you know, giving anybody any straight kind of fucking, you know, answer. I mean, it's just, this shit is off the fucking wall, dude. This shit is crazy. Anyway, Anyway, like I said, I want to keep this short. Damn, 15 minutes already. I get going, man. I get fucking going. Y'all know how I am. But this shit's crazy, and I'm passionate about it. You know, so anyway, I'm going to end that, though. I hope you enjoy my videos. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comment section. And, of course, as always, make sure you follow me on Twitter at Dillon Tartaro. And with that, I am out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.